Hey everyone, it's RoleyPoleyCosplays, and I'm gonna be doing a video just practicing my makeup while doing some story times. And the reason I'm doing a voiceover is because I was sick when I filmed this video, and my nose was stuffy, and literally my mouth hurts. I think I need to get what was it called? Those molar removed or whatever it was in the back mouth or whatever. But yeah, I'm just gonna be talking about the story times of my experience at conventions and stuff. So, my first ever convention, I want to say it was. My first convention, I want to say it was 2020 when I went to SuperCon. Yeah, that was the first convention I ever went to. And I've been wanting to go to conventions for years. Ever since 2016, I've been dreaming of going to a convention. Because I was getting into Miraculous, and I saw everybody was cosplaying and going to conventions and panels. And that's when I really discovered about the cosplay community and conventions and that type of events and stuff. So I decided that, hey, I really want to go to convention, but I literally knew nothing about them, didn't have any friends to go with, and it was all such a new experience for me, especially entering the cosplay world. And I didn't start actively cosplaying until 2019, I want to say. So yeah. Actually, maybe a little early in 2019, 2018, if I want to be exact. But yeah, my first convention was SuperCon. It was 2020, literally the beginning of COVID, I think. And I went as Maki from Jujutsu Kaisen, and I don't think the wig was styled too well, and the makeup was, it was okay because it was my first convention. It was a cosplay. I haven't done cosplay in a while because I was greatly discouraged from cosplaying. Because people make fun of you and make fun of what you do. So I was heavily discouraged from cosplaying, and it really made me insecure. So I took a temporary pause for a year, and then I came back, and then I started redoing cosplays again because I was like, oh, it's trending. Maybe it's safe for me to do it again without getting made fun of. So I did Maki. I went to SuperCon. I went with my brother and my mom, and I had a really nice time. I think I would have had a lot of fun if I went with friends, but I didn't have any cosplay friends or really friends to go with. But regardless, I was still excited to go. I didn't do as much as every other person did. It was my first time. I didn't know much about the panels or events, but I mainly was around Artist Alley and had a great time. Yeah, I ended up buying a figurine and everything. Yeah, it was really fun. I bought a sword, I bought figurines, but yeah, that was pretty much my first experience at a con. So the next con I went to was Otaku Fest, and I went as Merwin from Hunter x Hunter, and it was my first time going, my second time going to a convention ever, but my first time going without any family members. I had gone with two of my friends. One of them was Zoro from One Piece, and she did a gender bent version, and another friend of mine did Kana from Fairy Tail. We were supposed to have another friend join us, but unfortunately she was working. But regardless, all of us had a wonderful time at Otaku Fest. It was kind of like a mini SuperCon, which was super fun. And the one thing you don't really prepare yourself for yet is the type of people you're bound to meet at cons. There's always people who are like you, oh my gosh, they're so fun, love their personalities. Then there's the people who are very sweaty and smell kind of bad. And then there's kind of the creepy ones, or the ones that are kind of standoffish or kind of give you red flags. There's a ton of interesting people that you meet at conventions, and it's all always a hit or miss. And I remember throughout this convention, even though I was dressed as a character who literally killed thousands and consumed people, there was this one guy who kept asking me to marry him, and I thought this was an interesting interaction because, it's never happened to me before where some random person would come up to me asking for my hand in marriage, and this happened twice. So the person found me once and was oh my gosh, please marry me, and I was haha, no thank you. And then they found me a second time and kept asking me to marry them. And I was like, ah, ha, ha. Again, no thank you. And I wish at the time I had come up with a witty comeback. But all I could say was, haha, no thank you, no thank you. And it was kind of awkward, kind of not awkward. It was just so unexpected that, like someone would run up to you, for marriage. It was kind of interesting. But regardless, I had a wonderful day, met a ton of fun people, especially people in the Hunter x Hunter cosplays, took pictures, and then had Chick-fil-A right after. It was so nice. It was like an interesting experience. I had to wake up at like 6 in the morning to paint my body green, and it literally took like 2 hours or something. I'm not really sure, with the help of one of my friends. So moving on, the convention I went to after a few months later was MizuCon. And MizuCon, you meet one of those like red flags. Not necessarily the people, but it was this one person. So I went as Uzui Tengen on the first day, and I happened to meet these like 3 amazing cosplayers that are literally my friends now to this day. And we met, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like you guys are Uzui Tengen's wives. Like 2 of them were my wives, and then the third one was Inosuke. And we decided to take pictures together. And there was this one guy that was like Natsu. And he was like, oh my gosh, like yes. And then he joined in the picture, and we're like, haha, cool, whatever. And we all went our separate ways. And this Natsu guy approached each of us multiple times, me 3 times and them 3 times. And he was standing so close, and he would always say, oh my gosh, like, I love your cosplays. And he'd be like super close, and like, I don't know, like my friends kept sensing the red flags, but I was completely oblivious. I was like, cool, like that was me. But my friend was like low-key scared. She was like, bro, this guy's giving off a red flag. So she would always like pull me away. And I reunited with the girls I took a picture with, and I was like, I want to make a TikTok with them. Because like, the ring on my finger that was trending at the time, I was like, I want to take a picture. So I went up to them and I was like, hey, like, can we make a TikTok? And they're like, oh my gosh, yes. So we made a TikTok, and then we go outside, because the outside is like the final TikTok we've made. And the guy approaches us with like 2 or 3 of his buddies. And we had just finished making the TikTok. So we're just kind of like, oh, he's back. So I'm getting their ads on my TikTok so I can tag them. And they're like, hey, like, can we take pictures of you guys over there? And we're like, yeah, sure, just like, please give us a minute. And I'm letting them use my phone to, like, put the ads. And they're like, oh my gosh, we don't have all day. Hurry up. And we're like, ooh, the attitude. And I was like blinked out. I didn't want to be rude or anything. I was like, let's just get this over with. But the other girls, bless their souls, they're like, you better like back up. You better like hold on. Like they had like an attitude back, and I was like, oh my gosh, bless these women. I love women, bless these women. So they snuck back, and then they were like, okay, whatever. So they waited over there, and they started walking off, assuming that we were gonna follow them. And we all looked at each other, we're like, hey, should we just like run away? And we all collectively were like, yeah, let's just run away. So we ran to the stairs, and we just like booked it. And soon I don't think we saw him much after that. And we were talking, we're like, hey, like, that guy's approached me multiple times. You? Oh my gosh, same. So our conversation kept going of how that guy kept like approaching us and like talking to us. And we're like, yeah, that was kind of creepy. How he kept coming back. And eventually we, find multiple ways to avoid him. And we did. And we saw him at like the bar, and we're like, yeah, we're gonna avoid him. So that was pretty much the interesting experience I had at MizuCon. Of course, on the other days I met up with them and we hung out, but we didn't really see Natsu during that time again. Now, the last but interesting story I have would be the SuperCon in 2022. I went there with a few good friends, and we were, having some good laughs. I met some new people. Some of them turned out to be red flags, but we're not going to talk about that. But yeah, I had such a fun time. The second day we went as maids, and I was like, oh my gosh, let me bring this, because I was like, oh my gosh, like, I think I saw this on TikTok. So I brought a sign that said, we'll step on you for $5, and we were making bank. Let me tell you that I literally saved my money Well, then again, I spent it all, but I did like all the cash that I received, I was like, held on to it, but the cash I'd brought to spend at the con, gone. But I think I made it back with the money I spent stepping on people. And there's a whole video about it. Like, I'll literally link it in the description, but it was so fun. The other days, they were interesting. Like, I literally met CDog VA and I was in Anya. And then I met another TikToker, which was really nice and fun. And he was super chill. And it was such a fun experience going with a group of friends and like doing all these different activities. And oh my gosh, that SuperCon, it was like so much drama and so much fun at the same time. Because like, it was always like a back and forth type of thing during those 3 days. And I was like so out of it. I was exhausted. I do want to say that after the Living Tombstone concert, there was this guy, like, he was laying on the bench, like, right outside, not, right outside of, like, the room, and it was, like, right next to the escalator, and he was on drugs. Like, he was literally about to, like, attack someone if they were near, so we had to, like, go to the other escalator, and go, like, down and stuff, but Mans was ready to, bro, that's what I was told, but I thought he was just, like, sleeping there. But yeah, it was interesting for sure. I feel like it can be dangerous being at conventions, like especially when going into the night. And you really have to be aware of your surroundings because you never really know what kind of people you're meeting and who they are, what they're like, and what kind of, consequences you could put yourself in or danger you could put yourself in if you stick around these people. It really all depends on who you can trust, and it's good to go with a group of friends because you're safer that way. And again, you're literally in the building with filled to the brim with strangers, and you never know who or what they could do or be like, and you always have to be wary. And I want to say the last convention, because we're going to go past SuperCon. The last convention I went to recently, a few months ago, was Anime FanCon. It was a very small convention. I went as Beast Boy, and I had a friend who went as Raven. It was one of the convention buddies from MusiCon. And we had a nice time. We took some pictures and made lots of TikToks. And it was really nice, something small, local. And we entered a costume contest. Obviously, we didn't win because there were some amazing cosplayers, especially this girl who cosplayed as like the boogeyman from Nightmare Before Christmas, and she had this whole gown, and it was absolutely gorgeous and stunning. But yeah, like, I want to say those were all of my convention stories. Like, I literally went to SuperCon twice. I went to Otaku Fest, MusiCon, and Anime FanCon. So far I've been to conventions 5 times, and I've been to 4 of them. And next month I'm gonna be going to Otaku Fest again. And I'm using Pauline as one of the days. I don't remember which day I'm going as, but I think it would be Saturday. But I really hope I have fun, and I really hope that this will be, amazing as last year, or even better. But look at me, I finished my makeup. That is what I'm gonna be doing for Pauline. You can like imagine brown hair and blue contacts and a dress, because like I don't have that right now, but I just wanted to practice. And I've literally been procrastinating, and you know what? Like and subscribe because this video is already coming to an end. And ooh, I look so cute. I feel like I was literally insulted earlier before finishing this video, but stop. I think I look good. But like and subscribe. I'll look at the description for the details of makeups and stuff. And I don't know why I did that. That looked kind of weird. So I hope you have a great day and have a nice day. Bye.